Hello guys, and this is Robert again.
And I'm Ashley.
Today we're going to be talking about a very sensitive topic, but one that's very, very important. It's the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. We'll start off with Amendment 1. Freedom of speech, religion, and the press. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for redress of grievances. Now, despite how you feel about people's opinions, everybody has a right to say them. We have these politicians that are trying to follow the path of a certain politician from Alaska a few years ago. She had a TV show that was an opinion-based TV show. They spoke poorly of her speaking their opinion. She sued the station and forced the women to stand on public TV and apologize
For their opinion. It wasn't a threat to national security or anything like that. It was their opinion on her.
Yeah, that's not right. First off, if you're a public figure, you will be talked badly about. That's life. Get over it. Move on.
And even if you're not a public official, you will run into people who do not like you.
Yeah. And they will speak badly about you.
Well, sometimes they won't, but 9 times out of 10, they'll say something bad about you, but that is their opinion.
It doesn't matter.
They're allowed to have their opinion.
It doesn't matter in the least. But now they're trying to pass laws where if you speak openly about a government official, the police, the government itself, or laws badly, you can be held on criminal charges. I'm sorry, 90% of this country talks badly about its government, and the other ones are just want to be left alone. Or their children, and they don't know. Speaking your mind is not a problem. Shoving your opinion in somebody's face is a problem. Your right of free speech does not count when you're infringing on other people's rights. That is not allowed. But they don't need to make laws to stop you from being able to speak. And if they pass the law in Virginia to stop you from being able to talk badly about the government, I'll be the first one on the lawn of the Capitol building speaking badly about the government, because it is my right. Second Amendment is one that people feel strongly about either way. Unfortunately, the ones speaking against it, a lot of them are uninformed. They think the weapons they are trying to ban are weapons where you pull the trigger and it sprays until the clip is empty. Those are called fully automatic, and they're already illegal to own for civilian use.
Meaning only the military can use them.
Secondly, they say they want to ban assault weapons to stop mass shootings. 56% of mass shootings were done with pistols. Thirdly, read the law. Their definition of the guns they are trying to ban states any gun that holds 10 bullets or more.
So you're going to be left with a 6-shot revolver, or what is up with this computer?
No idea.
Oh, sorry.
6-shot revolver.
6-shot revolver, 9-shot pistol, or a little 2-shot pistol.
Or your rifles, your lever action, and your bolt action.
Well, nowadays, those come with fairly decent-sized clips.
But, and even make it further, there's a gun activist group that is trying to ban muzzle loaders to stop mass shootings.
And for those of you that don't know anything about muzzle loaders, they're one of the hardest guns to sit there and put the ammo in so you can shoot.
Yeah, they're actually called muzzle loaders because you load them by hand through the barrel.
Now, this isn't a muzzle loader. It is an airsoft gun.
Yes.
It's
not a real gun.
It's an airsoft pistol.
It is actually the Call of Duty Black Ops edition airsoft gun.
But for you, though, that don't know, you take your muzzle loader and you hold it like this, and you put your powder down in it, and then you put your patch in your ball, and then you take your ramrod and you shove it down in there and make sure it's nice and packed. And then you take the ramrod out, then put your powder charge in it, and then you're ready to go. You have 10 steps, actually, to pack a muzzle loader before you are ready to shoot.
Now they say they're trying to do this to prevent mass shootings. Do you know of anybody that's going to stand there for the 1.5, 2 minutes it takes you to load your muzzle loader to perform a mass shooting? Because you can only shoot one bullet at a time, and then you got to go through the process again.
And if you don't do it right, you're going to either A, jam your gun, or B, cause a backfire and cause your gun to explode. So you can't rush that process.
These people are not after banning guns to save people. They are after banning guns
to get them out of the hands of the citizens so they can do what they want without us uprising.
China has even come out and said that American civilians owning guns is a problem that has to be dealt with. So you're going to allow your government to ban your guns so they can gain favor with China? Why don't you just go and bow down to your masters now? It'll save some time. The reason we have a right to bear arms is to protect our family members, to hunt for those that enjoy to hunt, and to defend against the tyranny of a government.
Whether it be our own or an overseas government.
If you take the guns out of the hands of the public, you take away our last line of defense. It's not right. The other one I wanted to touch on today would be the Fifth Amendment. And I want to touch on this one because of the so-called red flag laws. The Fifth Amendment is protection of rights to life, liberty, and property. No person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on the presentment or indictment of a grand jury, except in cases arising in the land or naval forces, or in the militia when in actual service in time of war or public danger. Nor shall any person be subject for the same offense to be twice put in jeopardy of life or limb, nor shall be condemned or compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself, nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation. The red flag laws are to make it so you can, if somebody calls in and says you are a threat, they can come and take your guns without any proof, without any warning, nothing. They have the right to just come and take them. Just because somebody said you were threatened, or they were threatened. I walk through Walmart, and I cannot walk through Walmart without anybody feeling threatened by me, and I don't talk to anybody when I go through Walmart. I go in, I grab what I need, and I get to the register and get out. I don't stop and talk to anybody. I try not to even look at anybody. And somebody will, every time, feel threatened by me. People nowadays get threatened by a look, get threatened by a rumor, get threatened by the wind blowing the wrong way. We have people in our country that actually laid down in the middle of the street and screamed at the top of their lungs because our president was still our president. These people are fragile little snowflakes that get threatened at every single noise. I actually sat and watched the Socialist Party's convention the other day where there were all these snowflakes. And they don't clap at these conventions because it triggers them. They use jazz hands. Oh, God. They sat there for 20 minutes and complained about everything people were doing to get to stop doing. The little whispering and chattering made it so they couldn't focus.
Oh, your knee bounce makes me trigger. Please don't do that.
I'm sorry, people. Get over it. If I ever go to a convention where there are these snowflake little triggered people, I'm going to bring an air horn. And the very first thing I do when I get up to the mic is blow the air horn into the mic.
Have fun with shattered earrings.
Eardrums?
Eardrums, yes.
Because, honestly, if that triggers them, then I don't have to hear their bullshit anymore. And as you've seen in the last couple of videos I've done, I don't cuss very often. And that's how much these little people annoy me. Their triggering triggers me. Except my trigger makes me want to punch them in the face. Just because you don't like somebody having a gun, just because you don't like somebody talking their opinion, doesn't give you the right to have laws put in place against our Bill of Rights, taking our rights away. These are protected by law and protected from law. Anybody that puts a bill in place to limit our rights is subverting the Constitution, and that is an act of treason. These politicians need to be held up on charges. And as a little side note, I saw a post on Facebook, and I know posts on Facebook 9 times out of 10 are false. So I did a little background checking on this. And it turned out this was true. It started out by saying NFL or NBA. And then it listed over 300 counts of felony charges. And at the bottom of it, it says, if you chose NFL or NBA, you'd be wrong. These are our congressmen and women.
Mm-hmm.
Quick question for you. If you have a felony, can you vote?
No.
So if you have a felony, how can you hold public office?
They got enough money to buy themselves out of it. Which isn't right.
No, it's not. Just because you have money doesn't mean crap.
Our money is just a cotton-based paper bullcrap. It means absolutely nothing. It has no actual monetary value.
No, it's been off of the gold standard for many years.
And if you happen to find an older, 1950
or before,
50 or before,
silver or gold,
keep a hold of that. Don't let anybody know you have that.
No, because if you take that to the bank,
they will burn it and not give you what it's worth.
They will burn it.
It is worth its weight in gold.
They are required to burn those. So your money doesn't mean crap. In fact, yes, the top 1% of the population, wealth-wise, are the ones most often in government. In fact, every one of them. So yes, you do have a lot of money. But I want you to realize something. The other 99% of us are sick and tired of it. And we're ready to stand up. So go on. Continue committing crimes. The word will get out, and you will be held accountable. Along with the treason that you are committing.
We need to go back to the old way. These people were, how do I want to put it? Well, they weren't exactly paid back then.
No, the government positions were voluntary.
If you wanted a position, you volunteered for it.
It was an honor to do your duty for the government.
For your country.
And that is what it was. And they got together and passed the laws once a month. And that's when the majority of our laws were put in place. And you didn't have 3-hour filibusters while a politician stood up there and discussed chicken recipes. And if you think I'm lying, look it up. They do that. This is ridiculous. We're paying these people hundreds of thousands of dollars every year, a piece.
And even when they're out of office, we're still paying them a lifetime wage. Why?
We need to add term limits to Congress, to the Senate, to stop these people from going in there with a personal wealth of $1.5 million and coming out of there, and their personal wealth is over $1 billion. Not pointing any fingers at Al Gore or anything. Look it up. Your tax dollars are not being used where they should. They're being wasted on these politicians, rubbing elbows with other rich people, doing things for other rich people, and pointing and laughing at the dumb common man because they can't do anything about it.
I mean, how many of your roads in your towns are crappy and full of potholes and need repaired? Where is that money that you are giving the government going? Your taxes are supposed to be fixing this stuff.
Here in Ohio, we just had an increase in the gas tax to help with the upkeep of roads. The road I live on right now, we have a road going to it that was cut down to one-lane road because of the road slippage 6 months ago.
Because they didn't want to properly fix a water pipe.
They never came and fixed it. Then we had a water line break. They fixed the pipe, covered the hole, and didn't suck out the water. And then, surprisingly, the road caved in.
Then we had a mudslide. Now it takes us 30 minutes to get into town instead of 5.
So after the road caved in, that road was blocked off for how many weeks?
Oh, God.
It's been at least a month.
Yeah.
Where it's been blocked off and they haven't worked on it because they didn't have the money to.
But they have the money to fix one of the main roads that really didn't need fixed going through town.
Or put up big signs welcoming people to the city when the sign is already well within city limits.
And they just put it up, 3 or 4 years ago?
Yep.
It's basically a brand new godforsaken sign. But it needs fixed, and the bridge needs revamped, and...
But people not being able to drive down the road doesn't matter. We need downtown to look pretty.
Our downtown is a historic downtown.
But the point of this little rant was just to show your tax dollars aren't being used properly. Your politicians aren't acting properly. They're doing illegal things, and we're letting them do it.
Again, go around your town. Take pictures. Share it with us so we can share it with everybody else. Let's call these people out when they're crap.
It's time to call it out. It's time to stand up. It's time to put these people on blast.
And, what was his name? Trey. Let me look up your name real quick, sweetheart. You keep talking.
Oh, are you going to look up the guy that made a comment?
Yes.
The guy, to Trey, the guy that posted a comment on our first video of racism. For some reason, your comment disappeared, but we would like to know your definition of that before we talk about how we feel about it, because I've seen 3 different definitions, and I've honestly never seen the word used. So I really don't know what you mean by it, but I'm sure when you tell us, we will be able to let you know. And I think his name actually...
I don't know, I can't find it in my email either.
It completely disappeared. So if you're out there watching, please let us know. But that'll be it for tonight. Remember, guys, I hate you all. And that's not a bad thing. Good night.
Good night.